Hello, welcome to Blame Another Draw. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a deck profile on Witchcrafters. Witchcrafter or Witchcraft, or whichever you want to call it, but here it comes from the monsters. We're going to go to Witchcrafter, Madame Verde, of course, 2 Witchcrafters Hain, 2 Witchcrafter Adele. This is pretty casual, by the way. I'm only running 2 of Creation, may I add. You can bump that up to 2 or 1. In Witchcrafter Schemata, 3 of them, and you have 3 Witchcrafter Pittori, or Pittery, or whatever you want to call it, Pittorer, and you have 2 Witchcrafter Pottery. And for the tech engine, we have 2 Dino Wrestlers, Pancrew Chops. Now, of course, most of the times your opponent has to control more monsters than you do, so your Dino Wrestle Pancrew Chops is a tech engine in here. Of course, 1 Destruction Interruption in here is Special Summon. You can Special Summon from the deck with Dino Wrestler or Stage, which also I have it. You can just banish it from it, and yes, Special Summon him directly from your deck. And you can tribute him, distribute 1 card on the field. And you have all of them have the same effect, by the way. When they're you can just tribute and discard 1 spell, and you can special summon another Witchcrafter from your deck, and they all do the same. It's just the only effect they have is from the grave. They're all different. So basically, they all can banish and activate your effects. With this one having that you can, if you have no cards in your hand, you can add 1 Witchcrafter card and your graveyard add it to your hand. And you have Witchcrafter Pittori, Pottery, Pittor, or whatever you will call it. Basically what it does is you can banish it and you can draw 1 card and you can discard 1 Witchcrafter card from your hand, and if you did not discard any Witchcrafter cards, you banish your entire hand, which is not really a downside if you ask me. You're always going to have a Witchcrafter card. And then you have Witchcrafter Schemata, which is the best at the level 4 and lower. Is Witchcrafter Schemata banish it, you can just send 1 Witchcrafter card from your deck to your grave, and that's about it, which is a great card. It can send you something like Vice Street when you don't have it, which is great protection. And you have Witchcrafter Adele. Witchcrafter Adele, you can discard 1 spell and you can special summon 1 Witchcrafter from your hand, and if not, you can tribute her and special summon 1 spellcaster from your grave, which both of them are really useful, especially when you have to do a lot of revivals. And you have Witchcrafter Hain, whatever. And basically what she does is nothing can target your spellcaster except for her, and you can discard 1 spell and you can destroy 1 face-up card on the field on your opponent's side of the field. And you have Madame Verde, or Vere, and you can activate her effect by during damage calculation. If your spellcaster battles an opponent's monster, quick effect, you can reveal any number of spells with different names, and for each one it gains 1000 attack and defense for each one and until the end of this turn. And quick effect, you can discard 1 card and negate all monsters your opponent's side of the field, which is an amazing effect. And you only won 1 of them, but you can just bump down Madame Adele and the other one as well as you want. And you have for the spells, Witchcrafter Holiday, special summoning from your grave, 2 Witchcrafter Creation, adding yourself Witchcrafter from your deck to your hand. You have 2 Witchcrafter by Street, giving you protection, plus instead of discarding, you can send it from your field to the graveyard as an effect instead for cost. And your Witchcrafter Skull, that does the same thing, but if you battle, you draw a card. And of course, Witchcrafter Collaboration, you can attack twice, and Witchcrafter Draping, depending how many Witchcrafter monsters you have in the field, you can return spell and track cards on your opponent's side of the field to his hand. And all of them will do the same thing. If they were not activated this turn and sent to the graveyard without activation, they return to the hand from the grave during the end phase of your turn. And but you did activate it, you cannot return them since you gotta activate 1 of their effects. Each effect is a hard once per turn, so make sure you use your effects correctly and try not to fuck it up. How about that one? Just try not to fuck it up. It's not that hard to fuck it up. And of course, for the rest of the staples, we run 3 Call by the Graves, 3 Instant Fusions, we run 2 of Foolish Burial of Goods. I used to run 3, but 2 is better. And you have 2 Mystic Minds. I know it's controversial, we'll talk about that later. And you have Secret Village of the Spellcaster, 1 Reasoning, 1 Monster Gate, and 1 Magician's Right Hand, 1 Magician's Left Hand, 1 Metal Fool's Fusion, and of course 1 World Dino Wrestling. World Dino Wrestling, what you do is sorry for the camera shaking. Dino Wrestling, what you do is banish it, and you can special summon 1 Pancrew Chops from your field if your opponent controls more monsters than you do. And you of course have Metal Fool's Fusion, return to the deck, shuffle, draw 1 card. You have Left Hand and Right Hand, of course left hand negation for traps, right hand for spells. And you have Monster Gate, what you do is tribute 1 monster, and of course special summon 1 monster from your, that can be special summoned from your deck. Reasoning, your opponent declares 1 number from 1 to 12, and of course, you can just keep sending until eventually you nail it. If your opponent nails a number, you send it all to the grave, and if he doesn't, you special summon it. Secret Village of the Spellcasters, your opponent cannot activate spells unless he controls a spellcaster. And of course, let's go to the Mystic Mind. Everyone knows what Missing Mind does. At this point, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, your opponent can activate monster effects and it cannot declare an attack. If you control more monsters, then your opponent does the same thing. And then, of course, you control the same quantity, both of you, at the end phase of the turn they will be destroyed. I know it's controversial. If you don't want to use it, you can just run 3 of the Spellcaster's Village. And if not, you could just run another creation and another card, whichever you want, like Monster Reborn or something like that. I'm running Mystic Mind because it runs really good here. I'm trying not to make any bad things, but if you guys don't want to use it, okay. And Foolish Burial Good, send 1 spell trap cards from your deck to grave. You can run 3 Instant Fusions in here to special summon things like Thousand Eyes Restrict, Millennium Eyes Restrict, and of course, the other one I forgot the name. And you have Call by the Grave, of course, Call by the Grave for negation. You can just banish 1 monsters into grave. And when you banish it, you can negate its effects of anything with that original name until the end of the next turn, which is basically like 2 turns, technically, but not really, you know what I'm saying? 50-50 to give or take. And for the extra deck, you have El Shaddai Window, that's the one I meant to Instant Fusion. And of course, 2 Thousand Eyes Restrict, 1 Millennium Eyes Restrict, and then of course you have the 2 Link Karibos. This is all for the extra for now, but you can expand it to whatever you want. Link Karibos, I will bump it up to 3, but right now all I have is 2. And basically what it does, when your opponent declares an attack, you can tribute this card and change your opponent's monster attack to 0 until the end of his turn. And yeah, that's about it for that one. And then you have Millennium Eyes Restrict, which you just negate, basically Call by the Grave. Your opponent can activate the effect, and you can just chain and just take control of one of your opponent's monsters into grave, and anything with that name will be negated. And you have Thousand Eyes Restrict. Thousand Eyes Restrict, basically what it does is just target 1 monster to the field. You can then absorb it, which might add is a soft once per turn. So, yeah, absorb it, you gain attack and defense equal to that one. And no monster can declare an attack except for this card, and including your opponent's side of the field. People tend to forget that effect, and it is an amazing effect, and this card does not want to focus on my camera, so fuck this card. And of course, El Shaddai Winda. Winda is basically your summon limit. If you're not running summon limit, I'm running her instead. And you can special summon her Adele by just tributing El Shaddai Winda. It does tribute Adele and special summon Winda to have her permanently in the field. And your opponent can only special summon I think it's once? Yeah, just once or twice, something like that. It's just giving you summon limit basically. So that is it for the deck profile, guys. Hope you like it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the like button, make the like button your bitch. And see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out.